Hi guys, in this video I'm going to finally show you my top 13 books of 2013, and it doesn't mean that all of these books have been published in 2013, but that I have read them in 2013. And I couldn't make like an order between these 13 books because I just can't compare like a contemporary book with a fantasy book, so I'm just going to show you them randomly. And the first book that I'm going to show you is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And I have read this book, I think, in December, and I am in love with this series. And also the second book, Crown of Midnight, is just absolutely amazing. I think I even love that one a bit more than this one, but I only have Throne of Glass in a physical form, so I'm going to show you this. But I think most of you already know what this story is about, that this girl is an assassin, and it's just a kick-ass story, but it has for me it has the right amount of action and romance, and I just love it so much, and I cannot wait to read all the other books in this series. I basically fell in love with all the characters in this book, and I think a lot of people would love this, so please give this a try because it's amazing. It's action-packed, but it has got a really amazing romantic story as well, and kind of a love triangle, but it's done very well, especially in the second book. So yeah, this made it into my top 13 because it's amazing. The next book I'm going to show you is Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. And I read this book earlier this year, so I can't remember all the details, but basically it's a fantasy book in which our main character, Yelena, has to make a choice between basically death or becoming the food taster of the king. And I never read anything quite like this before, and I remember that I read this so fast because I just wanted to know what's going to happen at the end. It was action-packed, but just like with Throne of Glass, it has a romantic storyline in this book that was just so heartwarming, and I shipped them so much in this book. And there are two other books in this trilogy, but I haven't read those because on Goodreads people said that the other two books are kind of disappointing, so I was put off by that. But I actually did buy the next two books in the series last month, so I'm going to read those because I love the first one so much, so I hope that the other two is going to be good as well. But it can be read as a standalone too if you want to, but I really recommend Poison Study. Then I have Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, and this is such a heart-wrenching, so emotional book that I basically bawled my eyes out in the last 80 or so pages. This book is about a young woman called Lou, who is going to be the caretaker of Will, who was hurt in a motorcycle accident, and from that he basically won't be able to walk or even lift his arms, and he is basically living in a wheelchair, and he doesn't want to live anymore. He is obviously depressed and just doesn't want to live like this anymore. And basically the story is about Lou trying to make Will happier, or just, you know, live his life, to still live his life even though he's forced into a wheelchair and he can't care for himself. But she's trying to convince him that there is still something to live for. And it's just beautiful, and it's heart-wrenching, and it's amazing, and I cannot recommend this enough because I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this book, but it's amazing. Even though if it doesn't sound like something you would enjoy because it's an adult book and not a young adult one, please read this because it's just fantastic, and I really recommend this one. Up next, I have something a little bit happier, and that is Opal by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this is the third book in the Luck series, but I could have shown you basically any book in this series because it's amazing, but I have read Opal and Origin in 2013, so I chose Opal. And this is a young adult paranormal alien series, which is just absolutely amazing. It's so addicting and fast-paced, and Katie and Damon are just so easy to love and adore and root for them. And the story, the plot is also very well thought out and just action-packed but also romantic, and if you want something fast-paced and action-packed but also with a very great romantic storyline, then the Luck series is for you, and just like with all the books, I recommend it to all of you. And next I have The DUFF by Kody Keplinger, and I did a review about this book, so I'm going to link that in the description box below. But this is a contemporary book, but it isn't really like any contemporary books that I have read. It's a lot mature in the themes that this book has, but it's really amazing, and I don't know, it was just so easy to read, and it just sucked you right into the story, and the characters were very vivid, and you could just imagine them like you were right there with them, and I really love it when a book can do that. And I'm a contemporary girl, I love contemporary, and this one was one of the best that I have read. So if you are okay with a bit more mature things in a book, like in the sexual way and maybe some language, then I think you would really love this book. For the next book, I don't have a physical copy, but it is A Different Blue by Amy Harmon. And oh my god, this book is absolutely amazing, and I cried a lot reading this. The book is about Blue, who is a 19-year-old girl who is in high school, and basically she was abandoned by her mother when she was 2 years old, and her mother put her in the backseat of a car, and then she got raised by that man whose car she was put in. But she's, you know, she's not very easy to like at first, because she has this tough persona and she doesn't let anyone near her, and she acts like this sexy girl who doesn't care about anything, and she tries to keep everyone away from her emotionally. But one day a new English teacher comes to her school, and he kind of shows her or tells her that she needs to let somebody close to her, and she needs to open up and just not be this, she doesn't need to have this wall between her and other people. And yes, it does have a teacher-student kind of relationship, but it's nothing like you have read before. It doesn't happen early on. It's basically from a professional relationship to friendship, which is the absolute best part in my opinion, and then into something more, which is again amazing. But I don't know, I love the two main characters in this book and their relationship, because it was something else, and this book was something else, to be honest. And I hope a lot of you will check this out, because it's absolutely amazing, and it's definitely one of my favorite books this year. And also the writing was very beautifully done, so yes, please check this book out because it's amazing. And then I have Unravel Me by Tahereh Mafi, and this is the second book in the Shatter Me trilogy, and oh my god, it was such an amazing second book in a trilogy. And a lot of times I don't really love the second book in a trilogy, but in this one it was so good. And I love Shatter Me, but I loved Unravel Me. This book kept me on my toes the whole time. It was very action-packed. I never knew what was going to happen, but you also need to read the novella right before reading Unravel Me, and the novella is called Destroy Me. It makes you love Warner, which is pretty unbelievable after reading Shatter Me, because I just couldn't understand how Warner could be redeemed for the things that he has done in Shatter Me. But this book will show you how he can be redeemed and why, and also even more so the novella will show you that. And again, the covers of this series is just so beautiful. The next book on my list is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy or Jandy Nelson. And this is a contemporary book, which is one of my favorite contemporary books now. Basically, it's about a girl called Lynn whose sister died just recently, and she doesn't know how to cope with that and how to get on with living or life, basically. And the sad thing that she does is basically hook up with that sister's boyfriend, which is obviously not healthy, and she knows it's not healthy and it's not good, but she cannot do anything about it. But then another guy enters the picture who is called Joe, and he's just the biggest sweetheart in the world, and he's the good guy. He really is a great, a good, a kind boy, and she doesn't know how to handle these two boys and also how to handle the absence of her sister. And my copy is this journal-like book, and I absolutely adore the design of this. And also Lenny keeps writing these letters to her sister after she died, and she writes them wherever she can find a place, like on a tree or on a cup or anything, and she writes these letters and then she throws them away. But I do admit that I wanted to punch Lenny in the face a couple of times because she was making horrible decisions, but I do understand why she was making those decisions, but I do wish she was making better choices in this book. But I really do recommend this to all of you if you want to read a beautiful story and if you love contemporary. The next book I'm going to talk about I don't have in a physical form, unfortunately, but it is called Avow by Chelsea Fine, and it is the third and final book in the Archers of Avalon trilogy. And I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this series, and I don't know why, because it's amazing. All the characters in them are lovable, and it's a unique story. It's basically about a girl who woke up in a forest 2 years ago, and she doesn't have any memories of her life before that. And then she hears this familiar voice who belongs to a guy called Gabriel, I think, and she feels this pull towards him, and she doesn't know why, but she feels like she knows him. And the plot and just the general idea behind this story is just amazing, and I don't want to give away anything about this, but let me just say that these books are very, very amazing, and I think a lot of people would love them. And I remember that I started reading these books right at the same time that I started the Lux series, and I kinda had the same feelings for both of these series. So if you love the Lux series, I think you would love the Archers of Avalon series as well. So please check those books out, because the third book was just the perfect ending to a very, very good trilogy. This next book I'm going to show you kinda does get a lot of hate from people, but I don't care because I loved it a lot, and it is The Selection by Kiera. This is a very fun and light-hearted read, and if you want something that is not dark and not depressing but just fun, then I really recommend this book to you. This book is about a girl called America, and she gets selected to possibly become the princess and the fiance and wife of Prince Maxon. I think there are 30-something girls in this competition, where only one girl will remain, and she's going to be the princess. And there are 2 books currently out, and the third and final book comes out this year soon, hopefully. I'm not sure about the exact date, but the cover is gorgeous for that one as well. I love The Selection more than I love The Elite, which is the second book in the series, because in that book America is just so annoying, and I hope she gets her act together by the third book, because I loved her a lot in the first book. And also Prince Maxon is just a charming, wonderful guy, and it has made my top 13, even though a lot of people hate this book and this series, but I do love it a lot. And then I have Spark by Brigid Kemmerer, and this is the second book in the Elemental series, and this was my favorite book in the series, which currently has 3 full books and also I think 3 novellas out. And this whole series is about 4 brothers and plus 1 guy, and they have these powers which are connected to one of the elements, so water, fire, earth, air, and also a 5th one, which I'm not going to tell you what is that, but it's an amazing paranormal series, and I love these brothers so much, especially when they have scenes together. It's just the best. And this book is about Gabriel, who is this cocky guy who likes to rebel against his older brother Michael, and who is connected to fire. but in this book the romance was just so amazing that I can't help but adore this book, because you know, I'm one of those people who loves the romance in a book, and this book had it all. It had the action and the romance, and that's why it was my favorite out of the 3 full-length books in the series so far. The next book on my list is Wait For You by Lynn, aka Jennifer L. Armentrout, and sadly I don't have a physical copy of this book either, but this is a new adult book about a girl called Avery who is just starting college, and she goes to college very far from her home because she wants to escape some things that have happened back at home. And at the very beginning of the year she meets Kemmerer, who is you know, a very popular guy at college because he's the jock and everyone is basically in love with him, but the very best thing about him is that he's sweet, he's funny, and he's not arrogant at all. But of course he wants to pursue Avery, who doesn't want to be pursued by him, but they can't help but be friends for quite some time at first. And I just love Kemmerer a lot in this book, and I just love their friendship and then their relationship so much. But also it has, you know, a secret in this book, like in all the books, that Avery is keeping from Kemmerer, and which is going to come out one day or another. And I just love how this story progressed and how their relationship progressed, and it was a very fun read with some more emotional bits, and I really recommend this book to all of you again. And the final book on my list is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. It's a fantasy book that is in a fantasy version of Russia, and in this world we have the Grisha, who are people with special powers, magical powers kinda. And one day our main character Alina realizes that she does have some powers, but she had no idea about them. But she's not the only one who realizes this, because there's the Darkling, who is basically the second most powerful person in this country, and he takes her away to his or the king's palace to show her how to come into her powers, because one day he wants to use her and her powers to get rid of this Shadowfall, which is a dangerous place with dangerous creatures in it. But in this book I love that you never knew what was gonna happen, who you can trust, who to root for, and it just kept you right on your toes. It was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to read the second book, which I'm going to do hopefully very soon. And I think this is going to be an amazing trilogy, I think. But yeah, I love Shadow and Bone a lot. So yeah, those were the top 13 books in 2013, and I'm so sorry that I cannot explain a book to save my life, but I'm going to leave the Goodreads links in the description box below, because you will know a lot more about these books on Goodreads, because I suck at explaining books. Why? I don't even know why I started booktubing if I can't even explain books. But anyways, as you could see, a lot of my books were quite different from everyone's list, because I haven't read a lot of, you know, popular books in 2013, you know, the very hyped up books on booktube. But yeah, I hope that you still love this video, and leave a comment below telling me what was your favorite book in 2013. But yeah, I hope I'm going to see you guys soon. Bye bye.